I'm going to be doing two subjects. First one is about video playback on the internet and web browsers and codecs and what didn't work. I'm going to give you the last answer, which is the correct one, first. And the other thing I'm going to talk about is Hillary Clinton collapsing at the 9/11 memorial in Manhattan. This browser does not support video playback. The media could not be played. Answer: use a brand new copy of the browser that's listed as stable, not beta. That's it. You can end the video right now if that's all you were interested in. Now, if you want an explanation for that, I'll give that first. It's called the middleware wars. This is where plugins and enhancements and stuff like that for your web browser versus plugins and drivers and all sorts of stuff, oh my, for your operating system get into conflict, and you can have a browser that has a plugin built into it that conflicts with the operating system. Stop the madness. So basically what happened is that everybody kind of figured out we need to make it to where none of that can cause a problem by doing something even more simple. The first thing the browser does now, if it's a modern browser, is it asks the operating system, do you have a codec, which is a code decode program that handles this file type? If the operating system, it just asks it directly, if the operating system has that, it says, thank you, I'm going to feed you the video or audio or whatever it is, and I'm going to have you feed it back to me, and I'm going to do it with the formatting the website said, and I'm going to present it as a string of images, which is essentially what it's doing anyway. This is the skip around the middleman or the middleware and go straight to playing back the video. This is 2016, and we've had inline images like GIFs and JPEGs and PNGs and SVGs, which I hate, in web browsers for a very, very obscenely long time. There is no real reason now in the modern era for us not to have the operating system and the codecs, the programs for decoding and encoding, just have them do all the work. Now, I'd like to make it to where the browser has its own plugins, and I do. But more often than not, I'm turning off the ones I've installed or just not installing them because they get in the way, because most websites are now just saying, here's the video file. You see, by not having it in some sort of container or running some Java, even though Twitter does run that, which is what I'm talking about today, just throwing you the file and saying, here, you know how to stream it, don't you, works better. And about 90% of the time it works fine. Now, if your web browser has a bunch of settings in it that say don't do certain things, the reason that is given is that it causes instability. In this case, they're not just being careful and messing around. You don't need to hot dog these settings. I'm going to list the settings that don't work on Twitter and on Vine to fix this, because they really don't. And yeah, nobody just posts, just use a newer browser. No, I'm not kidding. Download a portable version of the browser. It's not much bigger than a couple of videos you can download to test anyway. Do that step first. It won't interfere with your operating system because it's portable. That's why they're made that way. And if it works instead, use it instead. That's it. That's the end of it. Stop trying to fix a problem that's broke. The web browser won't admit it, but instead of saying this browser doesn't support video playback, which seems almost right, it should just say this browser's too stupid to play back the video, get a newer browser. That's really what it should say. That's it. So here are the things that don't work. Changing settings under about:config, which lets you change the configuration of the web browser in Firefox. I'm using this as an example. Your mileage will vary. It'll be about Chrome and Chrome browser, etc. Media, anything like media resources, media sources, Windows Media Foundation, WebM, fragmentation for MP3, FFmpeg enabled, GMP, whatever. The first step is download the web browser that's newest, that's portable, and see if it's able to do everything fine. If it is, you're done. That's the entire step. Don't try to interpolate things back. You're just going to have to switch to a newer browser. I had to do that as well. You can just keep a copy of a newer browser around that's dumped on the hard drive, like I said, portable version, and just use it instead. It's annoying, but it works. As much as I hate the World Wide Web Consortium and all the web browser companies, they're actually doing this not horrible. Other things that didn't work was DOM, IPC, plugins, Java enabled, and media fragmented MP3 use blank decoder, etc. Also unblocking TWIMG, which is twitterimage.com, which stores pictures and video in the same area. That didn't have an effect either, even though it was blocked at one point. It didn't affect anything. It really was just the browser not knowing what to do and throwing up its hands and giving up, because the websites that handle a lot of individual little files, or big ones, it doesn't matter, have stopped trying to support, saying, if you're running Flash, do this. If you're running JavaScript only, use HTML5. The websites are saying, we're not going to do this anymore. Embed, space, file name, space, that's it. Give some parameters about the scaling. Just like a picture. You can just say bracket, image equals, and then the image location, and then bracket. That just means it's inserted an image. Substitute that with a video, and it's embedded. That's it. The whole point of this is to get rid of all of the middleware in your operating system and your browser, because they don't cooperate to play with each other, because you can have them in both places. This is a lot like people telling you don't run two different don't use two different virus scanners that are running at the same time. Have one that's running that you can turn off, really turn off, there are very few, and then run another one because it'll catch what the other one misses. Okay, you can't run them at the same time. Well, on a computer, you can have plugins dumped in a plugin directory. You can have it dumped in the web browser's plugin directory. You can have codecs in the web browser. I have that, by the way. That didn't help either. And in the operating system. That's 4 layers of stuff that doesn't have to be compatible with each other that can confuse the thing. And now at the 6-minute and 30-second mark, Hillary Clinton was told that she had pneumonia X number of days ago or hours ago. And instead of taking doctor's advice, and she's taking an antibiotic for pneumonia, not the flu. I got that mixed up in a previous video. And she went out anyway. What could possibly go wrong? What we saw. Bombastic stupidity. So that's really all of it. I'm going to include links below, including to the Twitter page it originally came from, which Alex Jones misidentified as a Patriots web page. He's not a patriot. That word shouldn't come up. He should be considered either a journalist or an activist or just a jerk who's waiting for something to happen. But most likely, they propped her up against that cement barrier, and someone noticed. Next, you can also do video.twimg, which is where the video was stored. That's Twitter images. I'm not going to list off the string. It's a whole string of code that says where the video is. And it ends in MP4. Yeah. And that's an example of something you should click. These are being used as test items because I'm doing a commentary on her. And then the CNN article with Hillary Clinton falling down and them deciding not to embed the video directly from Twitter, but using a YouTube upload of it that could have been edited instead of using the original raw video. One of my big complaints. Why? Because on CNN.com, they don't assume that you're using the latest browser. Now, I'm one of those people that hates it when people says you have to upgrade your browser. But this is one of those times when I'm saying I'm not going to upgrade my browser. But I'm going to download a newer copy and dump it somewhere to use it when, not if, a page doesn't load. I did this before and ended up with the current browser I've got and adapted to it. I'm a stick in the mud. I don't want to adapt. And on a political note, if your doctor tells you not to do anything, if they tell you to take it easy, you're taking an antibiotic and you have a lung infection, go home. I just made a video a couple of days ago or a day ago explaining why people shouldn't lie about her health problems. And then she has an undisclosed case of pneumonia and then goes to a public event. Yes, she should have said, I have pneumonia. I can't show up. That should have been the entire posting. And the next posting after it is, yeah, have fun with this. If you come down with pneumonia, you probably get week 2. And it was humid and hot in New York, apparently, according to everybody who was there. And again, someone claims to be a patriot while doing propaganda about that's negative about America or American politicians. And on that note, public disclosure, I'm not voting for Hillary because I like her. I'm not voting because I don't like any of them. I'm a stick in the mud. But yes, if I had to, I'd vote for Hillary instead of the other person, because the Republican Party deliberately didn't say, no Trump, we're going to put someone in who might actually be a real president. I don't like Trump. I don't like either of them. I'm angry with the Democratic Party not putting someone in there that's better. That's my opinion. Now we're at the 10-minute mark. I'm going to review the video. Number one, Hillary Clinton's an idiot, didn't take medical advice, or her doctor didn't give her right advice, and she was taking antibiotics for something appropriate because it was pneumonia and most likely bacterial. Not that I know anything about illnesses involving the lungs. Next, if your browser doesn't support video playback, it doesn't support video playback. Get a newer browser. I'm sorry, I can't fix it either. And trust me, I did everything other than that first, which was a waste of time. Don't you waste your time. And if it says the media could not be played, that means they used the wrong error message, because it should have said, hey, stupid, get a newer browser. And things that didn't work were going into the settings of About config and changing anything involving the word media or DOM IPC plugins. Now I got to go back and put all those back the way they were for default and hope I don't break some other damn website. Next, I'm going to have a video eventually on how to back up all the settings just in Firefox. It's the one I've got way too much familiarity with. Then I'll cover Opera, which used to be a lot easier, and others. And then I'm going to have a rant video about why don't web browsers allow you to have a universal set of settings that are in English and just get it over, or whatever your preferred language is. The reason is because of language. And why they don't let us just have an app for that. Because I'm getting tired of manually editing this. And I'll tell you how not to manually edit. And again, reviewing. The first link will be wikimozilla.org, block listing, blocked graphics drivers, etc. That's not it. If your browser has been told not to try to run your video card because it's too stupid to do it, don't fix that. You'll break things. SourceForge.net for FFD show, and also for the combined community codec, which should put all the codecs in your machine you need and keep them from conflicting cleanly in the operating system. That's codecs, not plugins. The Twitter video of Hillary Clinton falling down, and the direct link to the MP4, which would have been nice if they provided when their website saw that my computer couldn't run it. And the fact is, they shouldn't have to do that, because my web browser and my operating system should be smart enough to tell me what's actually wrong and it's not. And then finally, the CNN article that said basically she had pneumonia and still went out so she could be caught on camera collapsing like a dead zombie. I think I'll include that in the title. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with all that. And Hillary, go home and go to bed. You're not drunk. You're just old.